Hello there. I did a little video a while ago. I think I was on Koh Lipe Island in Vietnam, and I talked about trust and risk and how they interact. And I had a few messages from people saying, can you say a bit more about trust? Because I think I mentioned the trust equation and people seem quite interested in that. I wish you'd write these things in the comments. But anyway, so the trust equation was created by a guy called Charles Green, and it was very much workplace based. And I think his initial research was really about how senior leadership team and executive teams build trust in each other. I believe that's the case. But you can apply it to personal context. So we'll go through the 4 elements or the 4 perceptions that people need to have of you if they're going to trust you. And we'll give some little examples as we go through. So the first one is credibility. In other words, do you know what you're doing? Or at least do you appear to know what you're doing? And if you watched the last video when I was talking about the pilot, when the weather wasn't that great, they came on and they were reassuring, calm, confident. And what that meant was that people immediately felt that this person had credibility. So you trust them, which is probably quite important if they're flying the plane. So think about yourself, in the context if you've got a leadership role, but also as a parent or a teacher or any role, as a partner. Do people believe that you are actually competent at doing that role? Now, the second one, and you'll see how these different things connect, is reliability. Can people rely on you? In other words, if you say you're going to do something, do you actually do it? In the context of friends, if they need your support, are you there? Or same with, having a partner, do you support them? Do you back them up when they need it? Those kind of things. Can they rely on you? And some leaders struggle with this because, you can rely on me to a point and then it all gets really personal and, I become quite unreliable. The next one is intimacy. And this is quite interesting in the context of work. We're not talking about snogging behind the bike shed. But what it means is you're prepared to get to know people on a personal level and also be a little bit vulnerable. And certainly when we do team leader training, particularly for new team leaders, this is a difficult area because they've gone from being, a mate who's on the same level as everybody else to being a team leader. And intimacy, it can be, particularly around vulnerability, can be a bit of a tricky one there because remember, they want you to be credible. So if you go in every day and tell them, how stressed you are about being a leader and how you've messed this up and messed that up, it has a degree of intimacy and vulnerability, but it's not great for your credibility. So we do quite a lot of coaching and workshops around that area. And the fourth one, which gets the most weighting in this equation, is self-orientation. And that simply means, do people perceive you as somebody who is there for yourself or there for them? And that's, as I say, that gets more weight than anything else in this equation. Now, but very important for things like relationships and parenting, very applicable in that area. Now, as I say, we think actually it's a bit more complicated than that, but it's a great model and certainly worth thinking about. But as I said at the beginning, there is an elephant in the room because you could be a very trustworthy person. You could be a person who is worthy of people trusting you. You are credible, you are reliable, you're open and honest and intimate with people, and you're very focused on them, not you. But there are people in this world, and I alluded to this in that video I did before, who actually find it really difficult to trust people. And that generally relates back to childhood poor parenting, really. But they find it difficult or sometimes even impossible to trust people. So, you are going to find those people. So you can, do the best you can to be trustworthy, but some people just find it so difficult to trust. Okay, hope that was useful. Interested to hear your thoughts and hope the new year is going well.